Hi everyone, it's Kate, and welcome to the second episode of It's Fine, I'm Fine. Before we get started today, I just really wanted to give a heartfelt thank you to everyone who watched and followed after that first episode. I really did not expect so many people to watch it, so thank you all so much. Because I've been really enjoying this, and it's something that has been making me really excited about recently, and I'm trying to come up with more topics to talk about. And in the first one, I know I kind of alluded to the second episode being about my work/job, because I had a bad day that day and wrote a whole script, which is true. But unfortunately, I'm just not ready for that one yet. It kind of talks about my work history, which hasn't been great, and it's been full of people kind of taking advantage of me in the workplace. And I'm starting to feel like that is coming true at my current place of work, which I haven't felt before. So it's just not something that I'm exactly ready to dive into yet. So for today, I have decided on another topic, and it's kind of perfect for this time of year because it's about New Year's and New Year's resolutions and change. I'm kind of almost a little bit late on doing this. I know. We are halfway through the first month of 2026 as I am recording this, and it's probably going to take me another little bit to edit this and post it. So we'll be in the half part of the month, I'm sure, by the time this gets posted. But it's still topical. It still works, okay? Anyways, I've been really wanting to talk about this because I've always had kind of a weird relationship with New Year's resolutions. Not necessarily a bad one, but I never really got it. Okay, now hang on with me while I describe what I was thinking about it, okay? Just wait. I've always kind of seen at the end of the year people posting on social media about how they made such and such resolutions and they didn't complete any of them, and they had so many goals and hopes for the year, and it just never got done. And not that that's a bad thing, but why would I waste my time sitting and thinking of resolutions if I'm most likely not going to complete them? I also didn't really like putting a timeline on things for myself, because if something is supposed to happen, it'll happen, and it felt like a lot of pressure to write down these goals with the fear of never achieving them. It's also always accompanied with the phrase, New Year, New Me, when people are making resolutions. That is not me. That is not most people. It's just, obviously, overnight, you are not going to change and become a new person or anything like that. And that's kind of a hard thing for me to kind of grasp and hope for and work towards, because it takes time to develop new habits and to change the way that you're doing things. It's not something that most people can do in a short amount of time. And there are some people who can do it, which is great, good for them. They have a lot of tenacity, and it's a great thing, but I'm just not one of those people. So New Year's resolutions have never really appealed to me because of all those things. This year, though, my perspective has changed a bit. I've been thinking about New Year's resolutions for most of December, and over the past few years, I've been working really hard at becoming a better person, to both myself and others. It's obviously a notion that's kind of hard to quantify, because what truly makes a good person is slightly different to everyone. But right now, I think I've become a better person in regards to other people. I listen more, I react less impulsively, I do my best to help people out and listen. Whenever there's an issue, I always try to get both sides of the stories and try to do the best that I can with that information and find the best solutions. And as a boss, I try to make sure that my team feels appreciated and like they are growing and learning, even if that means putting my ego and pride aside. Because that's hard. Everyone has an ego, even if you don't want to admit it. It was hard for me to admit to myself that I had an ego. But for example, I've been having my team come up with menu items and helping them fully develop it into and put on the menu and make sure it's successful, and letting them take all the credit. Because everyone deserves that. Everyone deserves to have credit for the things that they have been doing that are successful. And when I was growing up in the food industry, I guess you could say, I've had chefs before that whenever I made a dessert and got it put on the menu and it was successful, they took the credit for it, which obviously felt awful. And I never wanted to make anyone else feel like that. So I make sure that every time I get a compliment about the desserts that one of my team members make, I make sure that they get all the credit. I make sure that they know exactly who made it, and I make sure that that compliment gets back to them. And now, I'm not a perfect boss by any means, but I do try hard, and both my teams seem to be happy working for me, which is all I could ever ask for, and all I really want, honestly. Now, becoming a better person for myself has been different, and it's been really hard. And what I mean by for myself is taking care of myself and my needs. Up until this past year or so, I have not had a hobby in my adult life. People would ask me what I would do for fun or in my spare time, and I would straight up lie to them about hobbies because I had none. And I didn't want to be that weirdo that had no hobby. The truth is that I worked so much and was so exhausted all the time that I didn't have energy to actually pick up a hobby. And anything I did try only maybe lasted a week. For example, I've tried crocheting, and I made a scarf and a hat, and then I set it down and never did it again. I have done Legos, and I made 1 or 2 Lego sets, and then never did it again. Same with coloring books and drawing and journals, and I have probably tried a million different hobbies, and none of them have stuck. And so I tend to tell people, since I live in an area that is very outdoorsy, that I go hiking. I tell people that I read and draw and all this other stuff that I don't actually do. Because I feel like it's weird to tell someone, oh, I don't have any hobbies. I made my work life my entire personality. Like, that was it. I was known as the pastry chef. And I was okay with that for a very, very long time. That's what I wanted to be. That's what I was recognized as. That's what I wanted to be recognized as. And it's what I loved to do. And I felt good at it. I felt successful at it. And I was successful at it from a very early age. I became a pastry chef at 22 years old, which doesn't happen very often. It happens, but not very often. So, now with my job not being how I would like it to be, it's kind of one of those things that are starting to weigh a little bit heavily on me, where I don't want to put so much energy and time and stress into a job that I feel like will never truly appreciate me. And this is something I'll get into more in the podcast, where I will talk about my work history and you guys will understand a little bit more. But every job, there has been something devastating that has happened that has forced me to leave. And it's getting to that point now with my current job. And I want to focus more on myself, because I've been so ingrained in my job, I've never allowed myself to do that. And hobbies are one of the things, and the other thing is taking care of myself. Cooking good meals, cleaning my apartment on a more regular basis, brushing my teeth daily. I literally have to fight with myself to get these basic necessities done. And this is part of my depression. And over the years, it has gotten a lot better. But it's still hard. It's hard to change, especially when your own brain is fighting against itself. And I'm already exhausted from being at work and being on my feet all day for 13 hours and dealing with disaster and crises and picky guests and weird bosses. So it's hard to come home and have to do all of those things by yourself. And there's been many, many days where I have laid in bed and not moved. I didn't eat or go to the restroom or drink anything. I wasn't even watching TV or looking at my phone, just laying there, unable to make myself move. And when I've been like this, I am screaming at myself internally that I need to get up and move. I need to do something. I keep telling myself how lazy I am and that it's not actually that hard and that, I'm just being lazy. But still, I'm unable to do anything. And it just harkens back to my childhood, honestly, because I've been like this for a very, very long time. And that's what my parents used to call me. They used to call me lazy, because I would go through these episodes of not being able to do anything. And it's hard for someone without depression to truly understand how debilitating it can be sometimes. And luckily, I haven't had a day like this in a while. I've definitely had lazy days, but I was okay with it and it was intentional. There wasn't any of those negative internal monologues associated with it. And honestly, I truly think everyone needs a lazy day every once in a while. We gotta take breaks. And I think at the end of 2025, something finally clicked inside of me, that I haven't been able to force myself to do the things that I enjoy, but I've started doing it. And I don't necessarily love the word force for the sentence, because it's more of a negative connotation, and this is a good thing. I've been making myself do these things, and it has made me happier. Even though I've been wanting to change for a long time now, and have been slowly, it finally clicked that I wanted to do something more about this. Especially since my job isn't providing that sense of accomplishment that I used to feel with it. And it's really funny, because right before I sat down to start writing this, I was scrolling down on Instagram and I saw a post from someone who's quoting a small passage from The Flinch by Julian Smith. And it really resonated with me and some of the items I wanted to speak about today. And the quote goes as follows: "You don't know anyone at the party, so you don't want to go. You don't like the cottage cheese, so you haven't eaten it in years. This is your choice, of course, but don't kid yourself. It's also the flinch. Your personality is not set in stone. You may think a morning coffee is the most enjoyable thing in the world, but it's really just a habit. 30 days without, and you would be fine. You think you have a soulmate, but in fact, you have had any number of spouses. You would have evolved differently, but been just as happy. You can change what you want about yourself at any time. You see yourself as someone who can't write or play an instrument, who gives in to temptation or makes bad decisions. But that's really not you. It's not ingrained. It's not your personality. Your personality is something else, something deeper than just preferences. And these details on the surface, you can change anytime you like. If it is useful to do so, you must abandon your identity and start again. Sometimes it's the only way. When I read that, I stopped and stared at it and read it again and again. It hit me in a way that nothing else has in a while, and it kind of clicked the pieces into place of what I've been feeling, and finally helped me put my current words to my current mindset. And I think that perfectly kind of describes what I've been feeling. Honestly, I have been making my depression an excuse for everything and making it my personality, in a sense that when it comes to my home life, I got stuck mentally in the state of how I'm most likely going to have depression for the rest of my life. So this is just how I am and how I'm going to be forever. And that has been really, really a hard pill for me to swallow and for me to understand and accept. But I haven't been feeling as depressed recently, and I haven't been feeling like I have that mindset recently, because my depression doesn't get to decide my personality. It's something that I need to learn to live alongside rather than fight against. And I know I'm not going to change overnight. Like I said earlier, it's not possible. But like it says in the quote, you think that you need a cup of coffee every day to function, but in reality, after not doing it for 30 days, you won't even miss it. It will take time, but the hard work pays off, and I will be better for it. I've been working a little bit every day to change my mindset and my habits to make myself feel better. Instead of going home and laying in bed or mindlessly scrolling TikTok, I've been doing one thing a day that will make me feel better. Just one. It could be something small or something big if I'm feeling it. Sometimes it revolves around cleaning or taking care of myself, and other times it's just doing something I enjoy. The other day I was feeling good and I took time to deep clean my refrigerator because it was something I hadn't done in a while and it's been bothering me. And even though I didn't necessarily want to do it, I did it, and it was worth it because I felt so good afterwards. Recording the first podcast and editing it were things I made myself do on 2 separate days because I knew I really wanted to do this, even though it was hard to make myself. And I'm so happy I did because it brought me so much joy. Seeing you all react and seeing you all watch it just made me so incredibly happy. Obviously, I'm not trying to conquer the world by cleaning my fridge, but if I do these little things every day, it becomes a habit. It makes me feel better to be in my apartment and to be me. Now, I'm not saying that this is possible for everyone with depression. Trust me, I know what it's like being in that pit. I'm saying that I've personally gotten to a better place with it, and that's thanks to my medication, therapy, and a daily struggle with myself. And if you're not there yet, that's okay, and it shouldn't make you feel bad, but hopefully gives you something to hope for. And with my statements earlier, me using my depression as an excuse, I know that I did use it as an excuse for a lot of things, but I also know how debilitating it truly, truly is. And maybe excuse isn't the right word, but I used it to explain a lot of things because I was just fighting it. I was fighting it. Instead of reaching out and trying to just live with it and walk beside it in life, I guess you could say. And it's not something that's easy, and it's not something, like I said, that will happen overnight. It has taken me many, many, many years to get to this point, and a lot of fighting every single day. And if you are still struggling, it's okay. I see you. You're doing a fantastic job, and keep on pushing. I believe in you. And I hope that someone hears this that needs to hear it. Because you will get better if you keep on pushing and you keep on hanging on. I promise. If you guys are really struggling and you need some help, I will provide links and information in the description below for some places that can help you out and listen and be there for you. Because nobody deserves to go through this alone. Now I'm finally getting it to the New Year's resolutions for myself this year. Like I said, I haven't had any before really, and these are kind of overarching goals that are broad, so I don't feel too overwhelmed about completing them. And there's also a bunch of different ways I can go about it as well, which takes the pressure off, which, as I said before, I typically shut down or procrastinate these type of things, so I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. And I'm not going to share every single one, just because some are just meant for me. So a few of them that I have, one, I want to make a consistent stream schedule. Fairly easy. I can do that. 2, I want to get 500 followers on Twitch. So if you're listening to this, go follow me on Twitch at Kate Sosi, the same on my YouTube. I want to hit 3,000 followers on TikTok, which also, Kate Sosi. And then I want to get 50 subs on YouTube. YouTube is like my least viewed one, so I don't expect a lot, but hopefully I'll get a little bit more. And those 3 goals specifically there about followers, it's just a motivation for me to continue streaming and posting content and stuff like that. If I don't hit it, I don't hit it. And that's okay. But it's still a goal that I want to work towards. And then one's not streaming related. I want to get a raise at work, and I want to eat out less. These are not revolutionary New Year's resolutions, I know, but they make me excited for this next year. I feel like these goals are manageable and not too strict, like eat out less versus don't eat out. Let's be honest, that's not really realistic. Most people are going to go out to a restaurant or pick up some food at the very least once. And I just want to do it a little less than normal for me. I have had a hard time cooking breakfast for myself in the morning specifically because I just want to wake up and go to work. So I have a tendency to stop by a fast food place and grab a quick breakfast. And instead of doing that, I would like to have something easy and ready to go at my place or something at work. For example, I got some Kodiak protein oatmeal that I have at home, and I have some at work. I've been doing my best to pack yogurts and other such items so that I have something really quick and really easy that I can eat on the go or when I first get into work, so that I'm not feeling like I'm wasting time or anything like that. Bagels have also been a very easy one for me as well. So it's just doing simple things like that. This way I feel like making it at home I can, or if I just want to get to work, I can eat it when I get hungry in the morning. It just makes my morning life so much easier, and it makes me feel better. Because obviously fast food is not the best food for you, and instead of making me feel energized and ready to take on the day, it usually makes me feel sluggish. But it was the easiest way that I was getting food in the morning, and I'm always so hungry in the morning. Anyways, Will I achieve my goals? I'm not sure. There's a chance that I won't, but I think I'm finally okay enough with myself that if I don't, or if I just make some progress towards it, then I'll be okay. Like I said with the follower counts and the subscriber counts, I have no idea if I'm gonna meet those goals. But those goals encompass me doing things that I really like to do. It encompasses me doing this podcast and talking to people. It involves my streaming and playing video games, which I really like to do. So that's my way of kind of developing more hobbies and making myself happy and enjoy life outside of work. I also think that after reading that quote by Julian Smith, that I'd like to get his book and actually read it. It might help me bring some more clarity about my way forward. And that's something else I'm still preaching to myself every day, that there's no right or wrong way through life. There's just through. Do what's going to make you happiest and healthiest because it's your life, no one else's. And I think that's been the hardest thing for me to learn as an adult, that there's no right or wrong way to do things. I've had a really hard time kind of retraining my brain as an adult, that things don't have to be a specific way, you know? Like, for me, dinner was always at 6 p.m. sharp, but it doesn't have to be. Like, there is no rules in the book that says that I have to eat at 6 p.m. And that was just one of the things that was in my brain, and I don't know why, you know? What else? There was like brushing my teeth as well. What changed for me with that one was I saw someone on TikTok giving advice for people who have depression, and they were like, you know what I do when I take a shower? I brush my teeth, because I'm already in the shower, there's already water accessible to me. All I have to do is brush my teeth, like, while I'm taking a shower. And that has made that task so much more easier for me. And I brush my teeth every single day now, and it feels good. Because I have both. I have a set of toothbrush and toothpaste in the shower, and I have a toothbrush and toothpaste set next to the bathroom sink as well. And it just makes it easier to have these opportunities to do these things for myself, rather it being a chore or something difficult. Which, like, you know, like, who brushes their teeth in the shower? Like, it's not a thing that I would have thought about by myself if I hadn't seen someone else do it. But that's what this goal is, and that's what 2026 is for me. It's a year of change. It's a year of developing good habits and becoming a better person for myself, because I really, really, really want that. And I'm glad that you guys are here and that you're hopefully going to be along for the ride. And I'll probably do a check-in eventually on how things are going, and maybe share a little bit more of my goals with you. But for right now, I think that's all I have on this subject. I hope you all maybe learned something about yourself or made you think a little bit. But I appreciate you listening to me ramble about all of this. I'll find Julian's book online and post a link in the description if anyone else is interested in checking out. And like I said, I will post a link below for any hotlines for any of you guys who need help. Please take advantage of these services, because they truly help people. And thank you all again. And if you like this, please make sure to like and subscribe. And I hope to see you all next time. Bye-bye.